You're now watching This AFC South Show, brought to you by Curtis Podcast Network, hosted by Curtis Brown, Blake Bellamy, Isaiah Michelli, and Jeff Steckel. Hey everybody, welcome back to This AFC South Show, number 68 this time. I'm your host, Curtis Brown, here on Curtis Podcast Network. I'm joined, as always, by Blake Bellamy, Isaiah Michelli, and Jeff Steckel. We are all each representatives of the fans of the AFC South, and we're going to be previewing the games ahead. So, without any further ado, let's get into the London game.
Woo!
Across the pond, eh? Yeah.
That sounded pretty Australian.
My man said, "Crikey, London crumpets."
It's a place with all the crocodiles, right?
Still Australian, man.
I know. I leaned into it that time.
Yeah, we get to go home once a year and play, so it should be a good game. I mean, is Russell Wilson still hurt?
It looks like he's gonna play this week.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great for you guys.
So,
I know. Dude, if Ripon would have played, I totally would have given them the win, 100%.
Is that the name?
Or Ripon or Ripon? Isn't it Ripon or I don't know.
I think it's Brett Ripien.
Who knows?
Right.
Not a linguist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Broncos suck. I'm more worried about their defense than I am about their offense. Jacksonville's offense has sucked the past couple weeks. Not offense, jeez. Defense. Defense has sucked the past couple weeks. I mean, we've had no shortage of offense besides scoring, and that's just great. But the Broncos' defense is good. They're still a top defense in the league. That's literally the only reason that the Broncos have any wins this season. If it wasn't for that top tier defense, they would lose every game by 50 points. Russell Wilson doesn't scare me. Russell Wilson couldn't see his own hand in front of him in the middle of the day. I'm at this point, I'm convinced that the entire point, like I mentioned before on the show, the entire point of getting Russell Wilson was so that they could sell the team for more money. There's a reason that Pete Carroll let his franchise quarterback walk and replaced him with Geno Smith. Shout out Geno, doing pretty well this year. But the Broncos just suck, dude. Their players keep getting hurt on offense. They had Javonte Williams. All this is going to come back and bite me in the ass on Sunday, but I'm just going to go in on them. They have no run game right now. They have Mr. Fumble himself, Melvin Gordon, back there, who couldn't carry a brick in his hand if it was taped to it. I mean, it's just I don't see any way for the Broncos to win this besides their defense scoring like 40 points on us, honestly. Chubb is allegedly going to get traded if they lose, so who knows, he might take a couple plays off because you think he wants to get out of there. Russell Wilson's so toxic that he's getting to the defense too. Realistically, we need to get the run game going with ETN. ETN's looked really good the past couple weeks. He's averaging over 90 yards a game, right about 91, like 90.8, something along those lines. 115 last week on 15 carries or 14 carries. He's starting to look pretty good. One thing about Doug Peterson though is that we're not gonna pound it on the ground though. He even said that he prefers to run it every once in a while because it's more effective that way. Trevor Lawrence, I can see throwing 35 plus passes easy this week. Should he? No. Patrick Surtain's probably going to have at least one pick if we throw 40 plus times, if I'm just being 100% honest here. It's a situation where we need to keep the ball on the ground. Their defensive line's really good, but I'm a lot more scared of their secondary than I am from their defensive line. So if we can keep Trevor under 30 and ETN above 15, and JaMychal Hasty's looked pretty all right too. Giving him some touches as well. We just signed a practice squad corner off of the Chargers. His name isn't Shaquille Griffin, so he'll be able to help us in some way. He's from the Canadian League, though. He's 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, like 206 pounds. He ran a 4.36 at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he can move for a big guy, so I'm pretty excited about him. He had like 31 tackles last season and like 4 passes defended in the time he played for the Chargers. He had an interception his rookie year, undrafted guy to the Canadian League, like I mentioned. I think he'll be a decent addition this week. Will he see much playing time? Maybe not. The big elephant in the room, James Robinson. I mean, we got what we could out of him. The Jets are renting him for 10 games until their actual running backs get back. They got 2 guys that they would start over him in a heartbeat. I don't even know that James Robinson's going to be the bell cow if Michael Carter's still there. We'll see. I think he might be a first and second down back, though, and Carter in the third. But we'll see. It's definitely going to become a fifth. He needs 247, 253 yards, something like that, to hit 800 yards in the season, or 600, whatever it is, and it becomes a 5th-round pick. So not really too worried about that getting there.
And he was undrafted, so, I mean, anything back on that is solid.
Well, I mean, the thing, too, though, is, we weren't going to re-sign him in the offseason. He's his last year of his contract. He doesn't have a 5th-year option, nothing like that, because he's an undrafted guy. He's going to ask for way too much money whenever he's not even seeing touches anyways. He has been dealing with knee soreness and some soreness there, because a lot of times when you have an Achilles tear like that and you come back too quickly, you overwork your knees, your ankles, other parts of your body that, wouldn't normally overwork. And he even mentioned that. Doug alluded to that. He also mentioned that in his interview press conference opening with the Jets. He mentioned that he had some, some soreness and wasn't really feeling 100%. So that's why he wasn't getting as many touches. It all came out after, of course. I mean, good for him, though. I mean, he's going to be a relatively featured back now on a team that could potentially get him somewhere. Trading Robinson doesn't hurt us too bad in this game because, again, Denver's offense is terrible. I'm just really hoping that we can get a little bit of pressure on Russell Wilson and make him see ghosts or not see anything, whatever's going on with him right now. I just hope Russ continues to cook like he has been all season, and we're going to bring the house down on him in London because that's our home field. We're not about to get disrespected in Wembley. That's really all I've got. Just ways to win, run the ball, get some pressure on Russell Wilson. He's not going to run. I don't know if he can't run. I mean, his shoulder is limiting him from running, allegedly. That's what they're going to go with. But we just need to get pressure on him. And, I mean, I don't know a wide receiver on their team that can blow the top off our team besides the fact that Shaq Griffin's not playing. But Trey Herndon let one go and had a very Shaq Griffin-esque play last week, too. So as long as we can limit some over-the-top stuff, I think we're just fine on defense. And running the ball on offense is going to be key here. Trevor under 30, ETN over 15. That's a winnable game.
That brings the run the ball counter to 2 for anybody keeping track at home. All right. Look, I honestly feel like Jacksonville has a pretty solid chance to win this game. The Broncos look like dog shit this year. There's really not a great way to sugarcoat it. Russell Wilson is a guy that everybody assumed would take the Broncos to the promised land, and here we are still talking about him. They're still getting a game that it's basically isolated in its time slot, but it's not a primetime game. Thank God. But
I wish it was.
Man, am I tired of seeing this guy? I'm tired of it. Can we just can we Matt Ryan him? You know what I mean? Can we just? When did the Titans play the Broncos?
Hey, shout out to the Colts for not giving Matt Ryan $250 million to do what he did. There's some silver lining.
Overpaid him.
Yeah, if there's some silver, if there's some silver lining, it's there.
All right. So with that, let's lead into. Anybody else got a Jags?
Yeah, I just kind of want to piggyback on what Isaiah was saying. You don't even need to get pressure on Russell Wilson. Apparently you don't even need to cover receivers. They got guys running open half the time, and he doesn't see them.
That's a good point.
I'm very confident in Jacksonville winning. I just picked up their defense in fantasy. I have no faith in the Denver offense. None. So
Jacksonville's defense, the Achilles heel of my fantasy team since 2012.
I'm starting your fantasy team.
We're gonna be better this year, guys.
I'm starting them over the Denver defense, so that's how much confidence I.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. With the way we've been playing, that's a tough one. I don't know.
But over Denver's offense.
Yeah, like I said, no lack of yards. It's the touchdowns where we're having problems. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Denver. Yeah.
Blake.
Yeah, I do. Before anything, I was so happy to see that James Robinson got traded. That guy is so good. I'm so glad he's out of the South. So I have to applaud Shad Khan for sending him out for peanuts, basically.
Yeah, let's Shad Khan didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, whoever it was, thank God he's gone.
Balky.
Yeah, Balky, my fault. But yes, I am happy for that. So I'm glad he's gone. I had the Jags winning this game because it is at their home stadium in London. And then the more I thought about it, that made me want to switch my answer. We did go 2-0. We've lost the last 5. I think the losing streak is going to continue here. I think Russell Wilson is tired of hearing the noise. I think this might be his bounce back game, even though he's going against a good defense. But yeah, if they do run the football, keep the ball out of Russell Wilson's hand, the offense, I think they have a decent chance. But Denver does have a pretty decent defense too.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm leaning toward the veteran in Russell Wilson. I'd still like the next 3 years. I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Trevor Lawrence.
You are such a hater, dude. You have no basis for your argument besides the fact that he's on Jacksonville and you hate him.
Well, he just hasn't done anything. He hasn't impressed me.
He has better stats than Russell Wilson.
Not historically, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, he's only been in the league for a year and a half. 2 years. Oh, man. He'll have better stats historically, though, by the end of it.
We'll see.
All right, well, let's jump into Indy versus Washington.
Boo, Indy, boo.
Now, obviously,
No win,
the
sadly.
news broke late Tuesday, or I guess early Tuesday. I don't know what day it was, but it happened. And Matt Ryan's on the bench now. Saves the team a lot of money if he stays there. And there's a lot of people saying that he will. That means Ellinger.
Sammy.
Ellinger.
Sammy, let me tell you something, Sammy. You want to drink a cold beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Anyway, so Ellinger is in at QB. We're gonna figure out if he's actually got anything. You know, he's an exciting guy. He's young, and I think the fans actually want to see him.
Yeah. They've we're Matt Ryan has been a turnover machine all year, and we're tired of seeing it. I don't know if Sam Ellinger is going to be any better or different, but with how bad that line has been, it won't hurt to have some mobility. I mean, I think the Colts are probably have at least 2 more wins on the season if they just don't have all of his turnovers. So if Ellinger can do that, let Jonathan Taylor rumble, and their defense has been really good this year. And they've done it without creating a lot of turnovers, which is kind of what Leonard was all about on their defense. I think he's played a total of 16 snaps this season. But phenomenal. I mean, he's been a full participant this week, so he might be out again. But they are saying that he's probably going to start, at least the reports that I'm seeing. So hopefully he's back out. He creates a couple of turnovers, and I really think the Colts offense with Ellinger can look a lot different. I see kind of like more of those, read options, run options. I'm not going to go as far to say he's as fast as Lamar or anything like that, but I kind of see that kind of Ravens offense more, where he'll be designed run plays. I don't know if they're going to have him air it out like they were doing to Ryan the last couple of weeks, but I mean, if it doesn't work out with Ellinger, at least we know, and we can look to the future. This could be another, suck for luck year. But, or we could see what he has, and maybe he'll play well, and he'll get us, at least in contention for the playoffs. But it's way too early to talk about anything like that. But
yeah,
the reports I'm seeing is it'll be Ellinger as QB1, and Foles will be the number 2. From what I'm seeing, Ryan, regardless of his injury, probably won't see the field again for the Colts.
Well, immediately,
I feel bad for the dude though. Like, I've
know.
always liked him. It sucks, but he just played like shit. So
yeah. Well, immediately the entire age of the starting lineup drops by 7 years. So
yeah,
you can blame the Texans for that one. Actually, if they would have just never talked to the Falcons and acted like they're going to trade him there, you would have never got Matt Ryan. So
it's true. Flirted with disaster.
Yeah.
Somebody's dancing with it now.
Yeah, thanks for the assist.
Look, I mean, the Washington Commanders have a very interesting situation going on. They have a really solid defense. They have Taylor Heineke, who has been able in the past to do things to win games and be in close games. If we all remember, there was the year that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won with Tom Brady. Heineke came in for the Commanders after Fitzpatrick got hurt late in the season,
Lit it
and
up.
played in that playoff game and balled the hell out.
Should have won.
Should have won. He's got that kind of potential in him. Do I expect that from him? No, not at all.
Got that
But,
dog in him.
I like Brian Robinson Jr., the story of just being shot and then, making it back after, 5 weeks removed from the accident or whatever. That's incredible. I just want to naturally root for that guy. Kind of sucks for Antonio Gibson because I thought he'd be a thing in fantasy. But
Hey, he's still like a top 15 running back though this year. He's just consistently. He's always gets around 9-10 points. He's solid.
Brian Robinson Jr. got shot and missed less games than Shaquille Leonard has since his name change because that hurt him so bad. So
That's good.
yeah, and that's a fun stat.
yeah,
But I think the Colts have equally a good defense at times this season. I mean, hell, they lost last week and only allowed 19 points.
They didn't even allow 19.
Well, that's true. The pick six. So they allowed 12 points. No touchdowns allowed on their defense.
Yeah.
That's usually going to win you a game.
Not with how terrible the offense was.
But maybe
Run the damn ball.
maybe Sam E will bring some life there.
Yeah.
Isaiah?
I'm hoping it'll open it up for Jonathan Taylor too. They gotta worry about Ellinger running. I hope it kind of opens up for Taylor now too.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
Boys?
Yeah, really just got to run the football. Maybe I don't want to see. It's so hard against rookie quarterbacks. You know they're going to go to the ground. They're not going to. If Frank Wright is smart, which he's really not, Ellinger probably isn't going to throw a whole lot, and he probably shouldn't. He's a rookie. Let him get there. Is this going to be his first regular season game in general?
I think he spot started with Wentz when he got hurt last year, but yeah, I don't think he started.
Okay. So yeah, they shouldn't give him a whole lot. I don't expect him to have eye-popping numbers. I do have the Commanders winning this game just because it is against a rookie quarterback. That's really the only reason. If it was Matt Ryan, I think I would probably.
Actually, a rookie, or is he like second year?
Or his
second
second
year.
Ellinger. I thought he was like third year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is his first start. That's
No, that was no. They had another.
So technically, it's his rookie.
Yeah.
We'll say it's his rookie season.
Yeah,
You're
his first year
like
actually
Jacob
playing.
Eason or something.
Yeah.
I was about to say. I was thinking of Jacob Eason that was there before him. Yeah.
Yeah, then he went to Seattle, and I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
He's
I don't
around,
think so
but
either.
he's like a third string somewhere.
Yeah,
Tom
all right.
Brady out here trying to run around like he's got the legs.
That Mike Evans catch was pretty incredible a minute ago, though.
Yeah, that really helped me for fantasy.
Yeah, that hurt me.
Wait, what happened? I haven't been.
Mike Evans had like a beautiful, 30-yard catch or something.
Something like
Good,
that.
it'll make up for his drop touchdown.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think.
Oh, he's with the Panthers.
I don't think they should have put Ellinger in, or Ellinger, or whatever his name is. They
It
should
doesn't matter.
they should have just let Matt Ryan in. Honestly, all that money you're paying him to lose you games, you should have just shoulder or not, you should have made him go out there. You can't tank if you're putting better people on the field. So, I in all seriousness though, I think Ellinger does give you another aspect of the game, but I think he takes away another aspect of the game because I mean, he's not so much. I mean, okay, I can't say that because he's definitely so much better than a runner, but than Matt Ryan. But I don't think that he's
I was
close.
gonna say.
I don't think he's close enough as a passer though, to where guys like Paris Campbell and that are still going to have the success they've been having down the field. Michael Pittman will probably have a day. I mean, they'll probably throw to him 25 times because he doesn't run anything deeper than a 7-yard out route. So I mean, realistically, he's more of a short yardage receiver because he has such good route running. I mean, he's elite. He's up there. People don't talk about him up there, but he's probably top 5 in route running right now, if I'm being honest. And I hate the Colts, so that's high praise coming from me. But I mean, he's a solid guy in the short yardage. They're going to take more advantage of their tight ends that they have not been doing, even though they have a 6'8" rookie tight end, Jelani Woods, who also ran like a 4.5 or a 4.6 in the combine. I mean,
Something
monster.
like that.
makes no sense.
doesn't.
They're going to take more advantage of that. They're not going to be pushing the ball more than like 20 yards downfield. I don't know that he'll have more than three shots on his record after this. They need to keep him clean. I mean, it definitely helps that he has the speed to move, but we have to see if he has the awareness to move. Because that's another thing too. Is, I mean, you can have all the speed in the world, but you're still going to get sacked if you don't have the awareness to feel the pocket presence, that kind of stuff. Run the ball. And I'm not just saying that because that's my famous catchphrase at this point. I'm just saying that because Jonathan Taylor has done nothing this year. And it's not because Jonathan Taylor hasn't been able to do anything. It's because for some reason they trust Matt Ryan and the quarterback more than they trust the best player on their roster. Like, there's been plenty of games like for the first Jacksonville game. Taylor was averaging like 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. And he ran it like 9 times.
9 times.
And, yeah. It makes no sense.
No.
I mean, it's not even like that game was super out of hand at halftime. I mean, it was still relatively close. It makes no sense. They need to give Taylor the ball. They need to, runs a couple read options. I think they're going to put some more RPOs. It's going to look more like a 2017 Philly offense with Carson Wentz. They're going to run some RPOs if Ellinger can. I think he can. Texas does that a little bit, but it's going to be interesting to see. I have the Commanders winning the game, not because I hate Indianapolis, but because Taylor Heineke, they should have never brought in Wentz. They should have never brought in Fitz. They should have just let Heineke start. Honestly, he's done more for them in the games he has started than any quarterback they've had in the past 12 years. Their defensive line is really good, and that's the biggest thing here is that they have 3 superstars on that defensive line, and they have 3 other guys that can rotate in and do almost as well. It's going to be a really tough day on the ground for the Colts in terms of the passing game. If they can get the ball moving, though, in the run game and get kind of past them, there were a couple times we gashed them. So, I mean, big thing there is just going to be get it moving. The Washington Commanders, while they have a great defensive line in terms of pass rush, their screen ability is terrible. I mean, we had 2 plays that would have been touchdowns on the screen, as one if ETM wouldn't have dropped one, and another one if he wouldn't have tripped. So, I mean, they have very low awareness on that, but that's because they're all just big defensive linemen and not, outside linebacker, D-end rushers, kind of like that. But I think it'll be a good day. I think it'll be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Washington's going to edge him out just because of the inexperience of Ellinger and then that defensive line going up against that Colts offensive line, which has looked better, but I don't think they're at the point where they can edge out that Washington defensive line.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely that offensive line, defensive line matchup. That's going to be the thing to watch, honestly. That'll really decide what the hell is going to go on every single week with every team in our league.
I was about to say every team in the division. I feel like every week we've been like, it depends on how the offensive line goes up against the defensive line every single week.
Yeah, all 4 of us have terrible offenses.
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. Oh man.
Well, I guess that leads us to the only divisional matchup this week. The Titans travel to Houston to take on the Texans in a game that they should, in theory, just clean this up. Like, this should just be, in theory, a clean them up game. Come in, put up 30 points, and then, the clock is done, in theory.
I mean, Titans haven't seen 30 points since, Thanksgiving.
I know, but this is, in theory, this is that matchup because Henry can obviously just demolish a defense. The Texans' defense can't stop anything at all, literally nothing.
Yeah, Derrick Henry has 7 touchdowns the last 3 times he's played Houston.
Yeah.
And that's just rushing.
Yeah, I know. The man is very, very unstoppable in Houston. In my long season, I guess, outlook, I had the Titans winning this game. I still do, and I think it really all kind of comes down, if there's really kind of an edge here, it comes down to if Tannehill is going to be playing, and if he is playing, how close to 100% is he? Because I know he has a pretty interesting ankle injury. I mean, it necessitated a boot leaving the stadium, so he didn't practice yesterday, and I know he was a limited participant today.
Yeah, I think he'll play. It's a division game that he has to win, especially since we have Kansas City next. He threw 20 passes. Yeah, he threw 20 passes last week healthy. If he's hurt, he might throw 10. We're just going to run the ball. It's going to be Derrick Henry all day.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see Malik on some packages too.
Probably, and Probably a Dontrell Hilliard sighting.
Yeah, Malik, he was taking first team reps yesterday, and then today, which is today is Thursday.
Let's go.
He was taking some.
I have him in like 3 of my leagues, so I'm excited about that. Some of them are dynasty leagues. So.
Oh, Malik Willis.
Yes, I like Malik Willis.
So, with my ways to win for the Texans, they're very simple, and I think anybody who's a Texans fan or observes the Texans from afar can tell you with any half of a sense what the hell this is going to be. Dameon Pierce needs to eat like he's never eaten before. I want a whole line of ladies making nothing but Campbell's Chunky Soup for this man. He needs to eat, all right? Feed this man. That is the only shot we have. And it's not like the Titans have made it easy on opponents to run necessarily. Like, they have a good defense. Our offensive line is going to have to come to play. Davis Mills cannot win the game by himself. Yeah, so, I mean, Mills clearly can't just, like, take control of the game. Last week was his best game. Over 300 yards, but, again, some of that came in garbage time. I think the only way Mills can have a productive game is if the offensive line shows up, creates holes for Dameon Pierce to run the damn ball. And then off of that, you build the play action. And then, like, immediately, I don't want to see Rex Burkhead anymore. I want Dare Ogunbowale as the third down back if Dameon Pierce has to go out of the game. I just didn't, like, he just brings more to the table. There's a lot of situations where he was in a similar spot, you know, X amount of defenders around him that Rex Burkhead would find himself in, and he got himself out of it in some extra yards, whereas Rex Burkhead rarely does those things. So please, for the love of God, just don't bring back Rex Burkhead to the field. And then finally, I don't think at all that Houston is capable of actually stopping Derrick Henry. What I think the only option is defensively is to, like, occasionally get a lucky break. You know what I mean? Like, occasionally, like, if the game is a close game and we can, like, conveniently make one good stop, like at a pivotal moment in the third or something, and then that, like, I could see both offenses just not being able to do a lot, because at times both defenses have really just shut people down. So that is an option that is that is possible outside of Derrick Henry just running rampant. So if there's a way of holding him like under 150, I mean, that thing gives us our best shot, but I don't have a lot of faith in that. They did finally cut Kamu Grugier-Hill, and
After he asked for it.
yeah, it's true. And I hear rumors that Laramie Tunsil could be traded. I hear rumors that Brandon Cooks could be traded. If Laramie Tunsil goes, this is a guy who's been grading out at like the top 3 of his position this year. You're going to get a haul for that guy. So I would expect a first and then some for him. He is only 28. I mean, you can still get another 5, 6, 7 years out of him, depending on health. I mean, the guy is pretty damn solid.
Colts need a left tackle too.
The Colts would have to pay through the nose.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Do you have?
I don't get it.
Let me hit these injuries real quick. Here we go. So injuries. Malik Collins did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Nico Collins did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Brandon Cooks didn't practice yesterday or today. Neither did Jerry Hughes. Kenyon Green, full participant. Justin McCray, limited participant. AJ Cann, with an illness, did not participate today. So if Nico's out, I really shudder to think what the offense looks like, because I don't know if they're going to actually play Brandon Cooks, especially with the trade possibilities. So that would be just hugely detrimental to the team, because then they're just literally throwing, who are they throwing at? You know what I mean? Like, what? Anyway, Blake?
I have Houston, or no, God, no. I have Tennessee winning this game. On paper, it does look like the Titans are just going to roll them, which I think it might be close. It is a division game, and it's in Houston. Titans, they just tend to underwhelm, but I do like Derrick Henry. I think he will eat. Again, yeah, we'll see probably a decent amount of Dontrell Hilliard. It's a revenge game for him. Zach Cunningham's coming back, so he should be ready to go against his former team. But the Titans, man, their biggest issue, man, is just injuries. They need to get healthy. At this point, it's easier just to say who is healthy than who is not, because reading the Titans injury report, it's just you got to sit down and take some time with it. You need to highlight or annotate it. It's just there's so many names to keep up with, and it's hard to just see which ones are limited, which ones are participating. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of talk about the Titans trading for a wide receiver, like Brandon Cooks is one, which I don't think that's going to happen. They've been saying DJ Moore. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to have Tyreek Hill on this team, and we're not going to throw him the football. Titans, if the Dolphins offered Tennessee like a 6th-round pick for Tyreek Hill, we wouldn't take it because, like, oh, well, he can't block. It's like, no, we don't need Tyreek Hill to block. We didn't need AJ to block. We just gave him away for an injured wide receiver, and which we eventually traded. Again, we traded our other 1st-round pick, and we got nothing out of it. J-Rob's just kind of killing this team with our depth. He's going cheap, and it's really starting to bite us. But if we can get healthy in the long run, then maybe we can make a playoff push. But it's going to be it's the least impressive 5-game winning streak if we beat Houston.
Quick shout out real quick to, was it Jack Cruz? Jack Cruz for shouting us out, saying that we didn't properly give Bud Dupree credit last week. I was giving my opinion because I was at the game. I didn't get the full TV perspective, but Bud Dupree had a good game last week.
Yeah, Bud Dupree's been a monster since he's been getting healthy. Like, he is. I love that guy. Bud Dupree, he's just disruptive. Him and Autry and Simmons, Weaver's even good. It's impressive. And David Long, he'll come in there occasionally with a linebacker blitz, and he's he's undersized. He's very, very fast, and you just don't expect a middle linebacker to run like him. And I think it catches a lot of quarterbacks by surprise. Yeah. And Davis Mills, with him being such a young guy, I think there'll probably be a couple plays drawn up by Shane Bowen. Going to have David Long just blitz him, all-out blitz, and I think we just got to get to Davis Mills. Just can't let him throw it, because I think our run defense is going to be good. We just have to give pressure because we have no corners.
I didn't hear you mention David Long, and I was like, why are they playing Bud Dupree at middle linebacker? That's such a switch.
No, David Long, it's going to be him and Cunningham now, assuming Cunningham comes back. And Malik Hooker, I'm sorry, oh God, what is his name?
Hooker?
Monty Hooker.
Yeah.
He will be back for this game, allegedly. He's missed the last couple of games due to concussion. Probably a pretty severe one, but if he comes back, that's going to be huge for this defense.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the Texans and the Titans play close games. They have historically. I mean, last season, the game in Nashville that Houston won, 22-13.
That was rough.
That was a rough game. Tyrod Taylor runs 2 touchdowns in. Kamu Grugier-Hill gets hawked down on what could have been a pick 6, but it's a 9-point victory, not super huge. It is probably the biggest margin of victory in a while, but and then the next game, the Titans win by 3. 28-25. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be more of a defensive game than anything, in the sense of Derrick Henry's going to be able to get going, but I think we have some answers in the secondary for other things. So I don't know. I like our chances against Tannehill's arm rather than Derrick Henry's legs.
Yeah, I just don't think Tannehill's going to throw the football.
I mean, he probably shouldn't at all. I mean, if this game ends up with a Titans loss, it's because Derrick Henry had less than 35 carries.
Yeah.
The man needs to not be on the sidelines.
I don't think he'll need that many.
I mean, you're probably right, but 35 because, Tannehill's got a bum ankle.
Mm-hmm.
He got 30 last week. Talking about 5 extra carries? Come on.
Yeah, he had a couple catches too last week.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say just start Willis. Run the ball, read option every play, triple option, throw Hilliard in there, throw like Henry at fullback and then Hilliard at running back in like a pistol set. Oh yeah, triple option all day long.
That dude's tough, man. Though, like I don't think people give him credit. Like he's the longest. He put up the longest streak of starts for this Tennessee Titans organization.
Yeah, but it's like 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's a lot though for not missing a game. That's pretty good.
That's crazy, especially for the Titans.
I think Peyton set the Colts record at like 10 straight years or some shit.
It was in like 200 something games.
Like
that was Eli.
But like when you think about some of the names that have come through the Titans organization, you're sitting here thinking, how the hell is Ryan Tannehill the guy that has got the most? Like Warren Moon played for this organization. How is that not like, or Steve McNair? I mean, I know he was literally always broken.
Yeah.
I guess he was just taking shots on the sideline to come back in or something, but
yeah.
And I mean like fireball, not like, numbing stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. These division games, they're always fun to watch. I'm excited. I'm also excited for Tennessee, Kentucky this Saturday. It's gonna be a blast. You guys got any eyes on any college games this weekend?
Fuck Georgia.
Amen.
Georgia hate week.
Georgia hate weeks. Because Tennessee plays Georgia next, I think.
Cannot stand them.
Hate weeks, plural. Well, boys, I think we're wrapping up here. Did you guys have any final comments on the Texans Titans, or just generally going into Week 8?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I guess, kind of respectfully disagree with you after seeing what Josh Jacobs did to the Texans. And Derrick Henry's a much better back. I don't know if it'll be any kind of blowout, but it might be one of his best games, just because.
He always dominates the Texans. I'm just saying, if we hold him to 150 or less, that's our best shot to win.
Honestly, I've been saying this for a couple of years, and this might be the game he does it. I think Derrick Henry's a candidate to break the single game rushing record.
I don't know how that's not happened already, especially against the Texans.
I mean,
I hope it happens this week.
Derrick Henry's just so good. I mean, if they can't stop him like early, I think there's a good chance he can. I don't think he's actually going to put up, 322 yards is what he would need to beat it, right? I think. Yeah.
Hope he does.
But I think he's got a good chance to put up 200 plus this game. But at the same time, they could also just sell out against the run every single play and just engage 8 every play, because I don't see Tannehill beating them. But again, if they even let Henry hit a seam and get any sort of 2-3 yards of room, he's going. So
it must be noted too that Tannehill did finish that game last week, and he was only in a walking boot the day he left the field, and he's been not in one since.
That's true. That's true.
So I think we may just be exaggerating his injury just a bit. Like he may be a little banged up, but what football player is not banged up right now?
Well, I mean,
I'm not exaggerating. It's Willis season. Put him in.
He hurt that ankle, and then that's when the botched handoff happened.
Yeah.
Because he literally tried to step with that foot to pivot and just crumbled.
Yeah, he has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, well, he said that it's just an ankle sprain. He's not even going to elaborate on what it was. I was like, that's such a Mike Vrabel thing to say. Like Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sure Vrabel got mad at him just for saying ankle sprain.
Yeah, probably.
Just like,
I had giving up team secrets.
Yeah.
Had a boo-boo.
It's like what happens when the colonel has to threaten the KFC employees. What do you mean they know what the herbs and spices are? Give us their address.
It's like, bro, it's salt and pepper.
Yeah, but you got to shake it a certain number of times. All right, fellas. Well, thanks for being a part of episode 68. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Still on the hunt for 1,000, folks. We are at 112, so 888 to go.
Woo! I'll need the number.
So hit the button. Share with your friends. If you got Titans, Colts, Jags, or Texans fans in your life, that's where they just, come on. They need to see our faces.
Yeah, all 12 Jags fans, please join us.
Unite. Well, all I'm saying is my Jags fans showed out so big in the beginning. They were 70% of our viewership.
Yeah.
And then we started being the Jaguars again, and then here we are.
They're like, all right. It's just false hope in the beginning of the year for every team. I feel
Oh
like.
no, we suck again. You know, like
Oh no. Yeah. Essentially.
Thanks
All right.
for having me on, guys.
Oh yeah.